parasha begins with something very interesting, where HaShem Yitbarach tells Moshe Rabbeinu, speak to the children of Israel, and let them take from me a portion. From every man whose heart motivates him, you shall take my portion. What does it mean, for every man whose heart motivates him? In essence, what he's asking is tell all of Am Yisrael to give some tzedakah. MaChatzit HaShekel, half a shekel. But he says, make sure that their heart motivates them. The next verse says, this is the portion that you shall take from them: gold, silver, and copper, and turquoise, and purple, and scarlet wool, and a few other different things. But interestingly enough, he starts off with gold, silver, and copper. Zav, kesef, unechoshet. Zav is gold. Kesef, aside from meaning money, it also means silver. And nechoshet means copper. So Rabbi Chaim has a very nice pirush on what really Hashem is saying here. The Chachamim are saying that Hashem is actually telling us, make sure that each person gives MaChatzit HaShekel, but only if his heart motivates him. Meaning, I don't need your money. Liya kesef v'liya zav neum Hashem tzavot. Everything is mine anyway. But if you want to give tzedakah, now's the time. If you want to be the kli, you want to be the tool that I use to build the tabernacle, you want to be a partner in tshuva, you want to be a partner in kedusha, you want to be a partner in things that are meaningful, and not just stuyot, not just buy bitcoins and cars and watches and houses and another extension to your house and all the other things that we do with our life. You want to be a partner in something meaningful, something that actually lasts beyond this world. Now's the time. But only if your heart motivates you. Meaning, don't think you're doing me any favors. Don't do me any favors. And now, he gives details. Take from them gold, silver, copper, meaning there's different levels of giving. Because each person has a motivation to give, but each person has a different, they may all have motivation to give. But one guy has motivation to give 50 cents, another guy $1.50, another guy $3.50, another guy a whole $10, another guy maybe 25 bucks, the other guy 100, and the gvir $300. The gvir, he made $1 million this year, but he gave 300 bucks. But he wants you to make sure that you use at least $150 in advertising to tell people he gave you $300. So, Rabotai Yekarim, Hashem Yitbarach is telling us, give before you have to give. Give before you get sick. Give before there's problems. Because that shows me that you know where it's coming from. And you don't think that you're the one that made it. But even someone that gives on their deathbed, it's still better than not giving. Many times it's happened with tzedakah tatzil mimavet, actually went into full effect and mamash saved somebody's life. Now, there are many times during the year that a person is obligated to give, obviously. But right now we have Rosh Chodesh Adar is on Thursday. A couple of days. And all the way from Rosh Chodesh Adar until Purim, there's a mitzvah obligation. It's not a nice thing to do. You're obligated to give something called MaChatzit HaShekel, which is what this parasha is. MaChatzit HaShekel, half a shekel, means 9.4 grams of pure silver. Now obviously, people don't walk around with silver like they used to, so we replace it with actual money. So I did myself the favor, and you can benefit out of it, of actually calculating how much this is. 9.4 grams of silver is approximately a third of 1 ounce. A third of 1 ounce of silver, silver currently being at $16.60 an ounce. that means approximately $5.50 per person per household. So if it's just you, you're single, give $5.50 or more if you want. But for this specific thing, this mitzvah is $5.50. Anything more is a different mitzvah. But this one, you have to give $5.50. Everybody gives $5.50. Anything you give more is a different mitzvah. It's tzedakah, it can be maaser, but this specific mitzvah has to be precisely $5.50 per person. If you have, let's say, 10 people in your house, then you give $55. But you should give it to different things that are relevant to Torah, Zikuya Rabim, and things of that nature. This is one mitzvah that you have to do now until Purim. In Purim, when we get to Purim, which is in a few weeks, you're also going to have matanot le'evyunim. You're going to have to give presents to the poor. This is specifically to poor people. If the poor people are bnei Torah, it's even better, like avrechim and so on. And what you have to give to poor people, you have to give them 2 meals per person. So if it's, let's say, for example, it's you and your wife, you have to give the value of 2 meals, and your wife has to give the value of 2 meals. So let's say if a meal, I don't know, let's say a meal is $10, so you have to give $20, and your wife has to give $20. And you should find somebody that learns Torah and perhaps is poor. Most of the people today in Israel that learn Torah happen to be poor for some reason. That's the way Hashem wants it to be. So this is definitely something that you need to do. And again, like I said, this is a mitzvah. It's an obligation. It's not like a nice thing to do. Now, when it comes to tikhuli trumotai, Hashem is telling us, take for me my own tzedakah. What does it mean? It says, really, everything that's in your pocket is mine anyway. Everything that you have in the bank is mine. It's not yours. So one guy comes to the Chafetz Chaim, he says, Kvod Harav, listen, I know Hashem is great and all, but I've made so much money in my life that even if Hashem destroys my real estate business, let's say the real estate market collapses, I still got a bunch of money in the stock market. And even if he makes the stock market collapse, I still have an import-export business. And even if he destroys the import-export, I get gold. And even if he destroys gold, I got silver. And even if he destroys silver, I got diamonds. And even if he destroys diamonds, I have horses. And even if he destroys the horses, I got cows. What, is he going to destroy the whole world just to take my money away? The Chafetz Chaim HaKadosh says to him, he goes, you're right. Technically, it's not so difficult for Hashem to destroy the whole world just to take your money. It's not difficult at all. But it's much easier for, instead of him destroying the whole world to take your money, to just take you from the money. Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Chatanu avinu pashanu. Chatanu avinu pashanu. Everybody thinks they're smarter than God. Everybody thinks they're smarter than God. And the reality is that when someone is generous with their money, they're showing Hashem not necessarily that they have a good character trait. It's not just that. It's good. Baruch Hashem, you're generous. It's a good thing to have. People that are not generous are usually very, very despicable people in a lot of other regards. It's a very bad trait because it's the opposite of Hashem. It's the opposite of Hashem. Hashem only gives. He never receives anything. The tefillot is for us. The limud Torah is for us. The tzedakah is for us. Everything is for us. He doesn't get anything from us. Nothing. So he only gives. So when we are stingy, when we're cheap, when we don't want to give, we're the opposite of Hashem. It's a very, very bad character trait to have. And usually people that are stingy have bad marriages. Usually they have kids that can't stand them. Usually they have a lot of partners that want to do bad things to them. People that are stingy have a lot of enemies. Why? It's a very despisable character trait. But one of the things is that it also gets the person to have Hashem despise them also. Why? I gave you 100,000 and you can't give my children 10,000? Oh, no, after I make $1 million, Hashem, after I make $1 million. Who says you're going to make $1 million? What, you're making a deal with me? I already gave you 100 now. You're waiting until I give you more even? I gave you 100 now, but you're waiting for me to give you even more before you give. Who said you're going to give more later? If it's hard for you to give 10 now, what makes you think it's going to be easy to give 100? Oh, I have $1 million. It's much easier. No, it's much harder. It's much, much harder to give 100,000 than it is to give $10, than it is to give 10,000. People think, no, if you have more, it's easy to give more. Absolutely not. I'm telling you from experience, absolutely not. It's very easy to give $500 or $5,000 or even $50,000. Writing a check for $500,000? Psh, doesn't matter how much money you have. Very difficult. So that mentality is only the Yetzer Hara telling you, no, wait till more, wait till more, wait till more. Hashem says, oh, you wait till more? Fine, you'll never have more. And not only that, I'm taking the other 90% back too. We learn this from the Gemara, from Naglimon ben Gurion, who gave an enormous amount of money in tzedakah. Enormous amount of money. But he lost everything he had to the point where his daughter had to look for different seeds inside the waist of horses and donkeys. When Rabbi Yochanan saw her, he said, what happened? Who are you? How could such a thing be? Your father was a big Baal tzedakah. She said, yes, he gave a lot of tzedakah, but not enough. Not enough. When we give, when we show the positive character trait of giving, it's not just showing Hashem that we are decent human beings, that we have a good midah, but also shows Hashem that we understand that it's not from us. We didn't make the money. We didn't do anything. So now you're going to say, wait a minute, boy, I went to work. I invested in the stock. I had the idea. I did this. You did nothing. Nothing. The less credit you take for yourself, the closer you are to actual reality. Why? Even the idea, who put the idea in your head? Even the money that you invested, who gave you the money in the first place? Oh, it was my father. Oh, it was my cousin. Oh, I won the lotto. Yeah, but who made all of that happen? Who made all of that happen? So, when someone is generous, it's a good midah to have, but also protects them from a lot of danger. A lot of danger.